Eddie.
Look over to your right on the hillside, you'll see an okapi. Okapis are sometimes thought to be relatives of the zebra because of its striping, but it's actually the only known relative of the giraffe. Shy and reclusive, though, okapis were not even discovered by the Western world until 1901. They are sometimes referred to as forest giraffes, though. On your left here, you're going to see my favorite antelope, bongos. They're so pretty. Look at their color. Bongos are also known as the ghost of the forest, because they're really good about hiding when they want to. Both the male and the female bongo have horns. The horns are laying back on their head, helps them get through the tangled underbrush in the forest pretty quickly. And then on the hillside in front of us there, you'll see some greater kudu. Greater kudu are the second largest antelopes in Africa. They can weigh as much as 750 pounds and stand about 6 feet at the shoulder. Only the male kudu carry horns, but they are loners. They really don't hang out with the herds all that often. And then on your left here, you're going to see a black rhino, or at least the good side of one. Black rhinos are actually small rhinos. They only weigh up to like 3,000 pounds. And they have a triangular shaped upper lip. They use like a finger to pull up grass or pick leaves and put in their mouth with it. Unfortunately, only like 5,000 black rhinos left in the wild have been hunted nearly to extinction for their horns. So you know what a rhino's horn's made out of? Hair. Yeah, keratin. Same stuff your hair and fingernails made out of. Coming up on the left over here, we're going to see a black and white bird right down here next to the edge of the water. Oh, there's two of them. These are saddle-bill storks. Saddle-bill storks can reach heights of up to 5 foot tall. Has a wingspan of over 6 feet. They also mate for life. Say hello to the happy couple.
I thought that one.
All right, we're gonna head over. Oh, no flying kids, please. Keep them down on the laps. Thank you. So we're gonna head over to the Sapi River now, which is always a good place to look for animals, you know, near a river. There's a hippo to your right in the water right there. Nile hippopotamus can weigh as much as 5,000 pounds. Can hold its breath between 5 and 8 minutes. They do sleep on the bottom of the river though. They'll rise up, take a breath, sink back to the bottom the whole time while they're asleep. Hippos don't swim either. They're just buoyant, so they can walk, run, and glide on the bottom of the river. Now, the large white birds you see on the island over here, these are pink-backed pelicans. They get that name because during mating season, the feathers on the back will turn pink. And they nest in colonies. Both the male and the female pelican will build and tend to its nest. You guys see this stuff floating in the water out here? Hippo poop. Of course, we call it now fish food. Seriously, circle of life stuff going on there. Hippos go out at night to eat grass and shrubs, come back over the river, feed the fish. Then you eat the fish. Just say it. Hippo is unfortunately the most dangerous wild animal in Africa, and they are the #1 killer of humans in Africa as well. Oh, more hippos. And then also on your left, some Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles can live to be about 40 years old and average around 18 feet in length. You might see some hold their mouths open occasionally. That's how they regulate their body temperature by expelling heat out of their mouth. They do have a jaw-closing pressure around 2,000 pounds per square inch, which will crush the bones of its prey. But Nile crocodiles only eat, on average, about once a week, and then go several months without eating anything at all. Coming up on the right here, we are going to see a baobab tree. Baobab is also referred to as an upside down tree because, well, it does look like its roots are coming out of the top of it. It only gets leaves about 3 months out of the year, but during that time, it stores a huge amounts of water into its trunk. And during the dry season, you'll see animals like elephants, rhinos, or others tearing at the bark of it to get it the water.
Oh, where is it?
For that reason, it's also referred to as the tree of life.
Tree? Oh.
Now, the savanna is created by the animals that live here. Like giraffes are our pruners. They keep the leaves trimmed up really nice and high for us. But when they get them too high for an elephant, the elephant just come along and push the tree over. And when the elephant's done, the elephant will come in, clean up the remainder of that tree. So in a balanced system, there's always plenty of food. Alright, so the first animals we're going to talk about is on your right over here. The little light brown animals lying there with the black stripes on their side are called springbok, which have a great name. They can jump 6 feet straight up in the air. If you get them running across the savannah, it can make continual leaping bounds of like 15 feet each time. And then we have some mountain zebra. Now we know these are mountain zebra because they have that fold of skin that hangs down underneath their neck. Called a dewlap. They are the only zebras that have that. Mountain zebras are black with white stripes, and you can tell that by looking at their nose. And yes, there are zebras that are white with black stripes. But you can also tell by looking at the nose. Mountain zebras are also known as herdsman zebra. And does anybody know what you call a group of zebra? A dazzle. With jazz
they
hands.
cover the tree. They cover
We'll
the
look
tree.
you left back there. Those wild African dogs. Some up here. Wild African dogs are also known as painted dogs because of the color of their coat. Now they're a pack hunter like wolves. However, they don't run themselves to exhaustion chasing prey. They just work as a team to keep the prey running in a circle amongst them until the prey falls over of exhaustion. Ha! Dinner time. Teamwork. That's the key. Oh, and then look over there under the trees. You'll see those dark brown animals lying there. Those are sable antelope, the official emblem of the Harambe.
Under the tree, though.
Now, notice that they lie facing different directions, and so they keep a look at it if they try and sneak up on them. And if you put a sable in a situation of fight or flight, it will fight. It'll use its horns as a weapon to defend itself. That is heard. The large columns of earth in front of us here, these are termite mounds, hard as concrete. Elephants love to use a good termite mound as a scratching post. Termites are pretty good engineers, though. They build these columns so that when air blows by them, it gets sucked inside, circulating throughout, keeps the inside of the mounds cool. Pretty good farmers, too. About twice a year, they come out of their mound, go 20 and 30 feet away from it, collect every piece of living vegetation they can find, take that back inside the mound, and use it to grow a fungus that they feed on throughout the year. And then coming up ahead of us here, you're going to see these gray animals. These are white bearded wildebeest. Part of the largest migration of animals left on Earth. Up to 1.5 million wildebeest migrate across the African veldt each year. And they're also known as new, because that's the sound of it. Yeah.
There you go. There.
Yeah, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
Nakakaon sa lion. Ito sila magdandagan mo gikuan, mangaway.
Some more wildebeest up on the hillside in front of us here. Ooh, giraffe droppings. As you turn the corner here, look under the trees, you can see those animals with the really big horns. Those are Ankole cattle. Ankole cattle are also known as the Watusi cattle, after the Watusi people who were the first to domesticate them. Now, their horns get up to about 4 feet in length. They're hollow, but they do pump blood though, have some dispersed heat from their bodies. Yep, giraffe droppings. These are Maasai. Now we know they're Maasai giraffe because they have that irregular shaped pattern on their coat, as opposed to like a reticulated, Rothschild, or Nubian giraffes, which is a block square, rectangular pattern.
Tay dako na ko, tay
Hey,
dako
people
sa
knew there were
front.
different types of giraffe. Now it works. Sweet. You know what you call a group of giraffe? A tower. Isn't that fun? A tower of giraffes. Our tower has 6 babies in it. That's the newest one right there. He's 1 year old, 1 year and 1 month. Giraffe get up to 20 foot tall. However, when they're born, they've already started life at around 6 foot tall. And 15 minutes after birth, the baby giraffe can be standing and walking with his tower. Don't ever let a giraffe lick you. Nasty, viscous, sticky fluid in the mouth. They're because they have some meat. See these bushes on your right here? These are acacia. Look closely at the branches. They are covered in thorns.
Yeah,
Just a
okay.
little
I say acacia.
hillside here, off to your left. Giraffe love acacia. They'll wrap their tongue around one of these thorny branches. That viscous fluid in its mouth will help protect its tongue from getting pricked. However, it's sticky, so all the leaves stick to the side of the tongue. Then as you yanks the tongue back inside of its head, strips the branch of all of its leaves. Their tongues are prehensile. They can pick individual leaves off the tree with it if they wanted to. And the average length of a giraffe's tongue is about 18 inches. A foot and a half, it can stick it out of its mouth. And I see a couple of elephants. This is the smallest herd of elephants we have on our reserve. It contains only a mom and her daughter.
Toro elephant na ko, na toro elephant.
Lami ba na ilang liguanan, oy. Pwede maligo. Pwede maligo.
Ooh, this is about to get excited. I'll get a special treat. She's like, yep, I'm going that way. Now, elephants do form herds, but herds will contain only female and the young. You would never see an adult male with a herd of elephants. That's because the herd chooses a leader, a matriarch, who's not necessarily the oldest member of the herd, but she is the one most knowledgeable where to find food and water. However, when a young male comes of age within an elephant herd, the matriarch will run him out, even her own, and he will spend the rest of his life alone. Tusk marks in the clay around us here. Elephants actually eat clay because of minerals they don't get from just eating plants. Now, elephants carry their young for about 22 months, almost 2 years. And when it's born, weighs around 300 pounds. See our larger herd back over there.
Oh, there's a big
And the
herd.
girl, she's back there too.
Blue.
Now, elephants communicate using a low rumble that's actually below the ability of humans to hear it, called infrasound. But an elephant can hear it up to 10 miles away through its feet. It actually feels the vibration of the rumble moving around. In 2008, there was a research study done with the elephants on the reserve. The whole herd wore leather collars around their neck with recording devices attached to it to record that low rumble that they make. And then two things came out of that study that I found fascinating. One, they discovered that elephants have a high language. Now, humans have high language because they use complete sentences to talk to one another so that we understand and comprehend what we're trying to say. They discovered that elephants also use the same syntax. They use complete sentences when they talk to one another, which I find fascinating. They also discovered that elephants are afraid of bees. And I don't mean they're just scared of bees. I mean they don't go near them. They avoid them.
Water.
That's a duck in a hurry. And we got some greater flamingo here. Greater flamingo are the lightest pink of all the flamingos. And they get that pink color from eating brine shrimp and other crustaceans that are full of beta-carotene. Then we got to see these darker gray mammals there. Those are our newest additions. They're 9 weeks old now. Baby flamingos, when they're first born, are gray and fuzzy, little fuzz balls with legs. They lose their fuzz after a few weeks, but they will not lose that gray coloring until they're around 2 years old. You see some of the older ones out there still have gray on their heads, necks, and legs. That'd be last year's chicks. Alright, we're going to head into a little different ecosystem now. Animals you find in this environment are still savanna animals. They just like to be a little more reclusive. They hang out in the wooded areas around the edges of the savannas. Most frightening animal in the reserve, an ostrich. They don't like me.
Where?
Everybody steal my name tag with them. Took it right off my shirt.
You're big, Daddy.
Now, ostrich can run 45 miles an hour, and although they do have wings, they cannot fly. They do use their wings to make themselves look bigger if they feel threatened, and to Balance himself with the run. There's a white rhino laying up in the trees right there.
Sa Africa na makita
There's
na.
some more here
Kana nga
too.
tree.
A group of rhinos is called a crash. A
Rhino.
crash of rhinos has 3 babies in it. We have one that's a little over a year old. We have one that's almost 9 months old, and we have one that's 6 months old.
What about rhino?
These are
Rhino?
white rhinos. White rhinos get their name from the Afrikaans word "white," meaning wide, referring to his broad, square mouth. Of course, the English misunderstood the word. That's how we got white rhinos instead of white rhinos. Look to your left here. There is a cheetah laying right there on the ground.
Oh my God. Ladad. Cheetah.
Cheetahs are the fastest land mammal. They can run at speeds of up to 70 miles an hour for short spurts. They also have a very long, thick, heavy tail. They use sort of like a rudder when they're chasing their prey. Helps them maintain their balance and make sharp turns.
No, they're right there.
Rhino.
Yeah, that's a cheetah. And then we'll
Cheetahs are also the only one of the big cats that has the ability to purr. And there's 2 more over here, laying up in that greenery back out there. And just in front of it out there near those branches. Cheetahs also bark too. They don't growl or roar. Lion. Lions do form prides, usually consisting of just one male, number of female when they're young.
Lion King.
Females do most of the hunting for a lion pride though.
Look, there's a lion right there on the rock.
And lions do exactly what he's doing right there, you know, just kind of hang out, lay around and sleep 20 plus hours a day. 100 years ago, there were over 200,000 lions roaming the savannas of Africa. Today, there are less than 20,000 left in the wild. That's mostly due to habitat destruction, but also partially due to human encroachment into the roaming area, which is cutting down the diversity of the prides. Coming up on the right here, you can see a little small bontebok. Bontebok are extinct in the wild. You can only find them on reserves like this. But about 150 years ago, there were only like 20 bonteboks left on the planet. That's because a farmer put up a fence around his property in South Africa and inadvertently trapped them on the property, which is the only reason they were saved from being hunted completely to extinction. But they are doing pretty good on reserves around the world today, though.
See him right there? Oh, there's more. There's one by the tree. There's a female by the tree. There's a male on the rock.
That's gonna be hard to see. Guys, there's a couple of warthogs laying. We're just past that big rock right there, right before the tree. Look for the hairy rocks just on the other side. Might be able to see better from the other side. Let's go around and see if we can see the other way. Warthogs are the largest burrowing mammals. They dig their burrows and back into them to expose their tusks to ward off any predators that might be thinking of a quick snack. And they're pretty fast. They can run about 30 miles an hour. Ostrich.
Here's the ostrich.
There.
Fun fact about an ostrich is eyeballs bigger than
Today
his
or
horse.
streets nako.
Just saying. Then we got a clutch of ostrich eggs on the ground right there. One ostrich egg is the equivalent of a couple of dozen chicken eggs. Weighs about 3 pounds.
Na eggs.
Makes it look phenomenal.
One egg.
Actually makes a number of them to get on those. And the shell of an ostrich egg is actually really thick and it's pressurized inside. You could stand on top of an ostrich egg and it wouldn't break. I didn't believe that they had me do it. I'm a pretty big boy. All right, so look just past the tree there. You can see one of those hairy rocks. And then right up in the corner, right at the base of the rock, so you see another one laying back there with its legs stuck out
Where is
towards
it?
you.
Ah, okay. Tatabi, oh, there, oh.
Asa man?
Warthog, bro. Baboy mo. Jungle day.
Coming up ahead of us here, the warden has decided to start a goat farm. Now the idea is to sell the milk and cheese, make money for the reserve, and also have the economy of the village. These are Nigerian dwarf goats.
Dwarf.
They had a few kids as well. The yellow box you see hanging out there is a beehive fence. Farmers do use beehive fences to keep elephants away. Like I said earlier, elephants are afraid of bees. So they put the beehives around the property to keep the elephants from destroying their livestock fencing, trampling their crops, eating their crops. And they've been such a success on the farms that villages now put beehives around their villages. Encourage the elephants to go around the village instead of through it, which is cutting down the confrontations that were occurring when elephants just kind of wandered through the middle of the village. And anything we can do to cut down the confrontations between humans and elephants is always good for the elephants. Plus, the humans get to sell the honey, so win-win-win. We are coming up to the warden's post up ahead, which is where I'll be dropping you off. From there is just a short hike back to the Harami village. When you get back to the village, talk to some of the vendors there if you have any interest in donating to the Wildlife Conservation Fund. Every dollar you contribute is matched dollar for dollar to wildlife, wild places around the world. The fund is currently having to pay for protectors for white rhinos here in Africa. Also working to put herd of bontabots back in the wild. Hopefully by the end of the year that will be taking place. I also suggest you visit the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Now, as that name suggests, you might find some western lowland gorillas on the trail, maybe even some meerkats, there's an underwater view for hippos, bird sanctuary. The whole reason for going on the trail, though, neck and mole rats. Dude, she's so cute, little tiny things. Guys, I hope everybody enjoyed this safari. Thank you for choosing Kilimanjaro Safaris as your safari guys. Once again, my name's Travis, and I'd like to say goodbye to my Rafiki. So I use a Swahili word, Kwaherini, means go well. So Kwaherini, everyone.